Why is it that we can only see the value in difficult situations when we're looking backwards and never really when we're going through it? Why is it that when we're living the moment and it's a difficult one, we tend to resist and not see the value in it? This loop we live in is not helping yourself, it's not helping myself, it's not helping anyone else. So let me paint you a picture, my friend, because this shift in perspective changes everything. It's about grounding yourself in spiritual faith, because let me tell you, you are so very guided. And when you don't put yourself in your own way, things just happen way more effortlessly. So this is you or me or anyone else living the present moment. And when the present moment is reflecting to us stuff we don't like, we tend to resist it. We tend to forget all about spiritual faith and how we're so very guided and how everything has a lesson in it. And when we begin resisting what is, we begin creating more things for us to resist. And that's not what you want. Okay, so when you look backwards on your journey, it's much easier for you to look at a specific moment and be like, wow, I was really suffering then. It was not pleasant, but I can totally see it. You're here in the present, and you look back and you see it clearly, you see it objectively, and you're even kind of proud of the hardship you went through. And you're like, wow, that really made me stronger. That really allowed me to get to where I am today. I'm grateful for that struggle, you know? You see yourself, you see the moment, you see everything. And so everything makes sense. Now, when you're in the present moment, just like this, you are in the box, right? And when you're in the box, can you see what's on it? Can you read the label on the box when you're in the box, right? So you cannot see it. Now, in hindsight, you can see the label. You can see yourself, you can see the box, you can see what's on the box, you can appreciate it, you can see its value. Now, the trick is living the eternal present moment. We're going through something that's challenging. Reality is reflecting stuff we don't want. And we're like,
why is this happening? Why am I still here? Why am I not making progress?
You're making progress. You are always making progress. When you were here having a hard time, you probably didn't think you were making any progress. But you were, and now you're here, and you're grateful for what was. But now, maybe reality is showing you something that you don't like. And it's the loop. It's like, oh my gosh, why is this happening? Because you cannot see the label. You cannot see what's on the box. But every box contains a lesson. But the ego wants certainty. The ego wants guarantees. And because it cannot see what's going on objectively, it tends to resist. But because you're all the power in the universe, when you're resisting, you are shaping the energy that flows to and through you in a way that's not going to serve you. It's just going to create more delays for you to get where you're trying to go. Right? So spiritual faith is everything, because it's about reminding ourselves that one, we are so guided. Two, we are exactly where we're supposed to be. And three, maybe there are lessons that we as souls, which is really who we are, want to learn from, so that we can keep expanding and keep moving forwards in this cosmic video game. Now, the box is moving forward. They are not connected yet, okay? They're pure potential, and you're getting there, but you cannot see what's going to happen. You cannot connect the dots. As Steve Jobs once told us, you can never connect the dots looking forwards. You can only connect the dots looking backwards, right? So this is not about blind belief. Again, it's about spiritual faith. So let me tell you about my sister in her present moment box and what's happening to her. So my sister really likes this man who is the father of a kid in the school my nephew goes to. And so she really likes this man, and the universe has presented her with a series of synchronistic events that's literally telling her, you are going to be together. Okay. One of the most amazing synchronistic events that happened was her learning the kid's name via like a cosmic whisper. She was like, oh, I just received this download, with the kid's name. And then later she learned that the guy's kid was actually called the name she received as a download. How amazing is that? Among many others, and it's such a video game, okay? And so she has been, co-creating with the universe to like finally be with this guy for over a year. She's a little tired now because her ego wants to be with the man right now, okay? And so there was a party 2 weeks ago at the school, and she thought that party was going to like finally, orchestrate things so that they can finally be together, right? So she had high hopes and high expectations for this party. And so in the beginning of the party, she's there, the guy is also there, the guy's brother is also there, and the brother comes up to her and says, oh, you look familiar, I think I've met you somewhere. Out of the blue, And then the guy talks to her. They finally officially introduce themselves after like so many months of like saying hi at the school, you know what I mean? And then I get to the party a little later, but then soon after, the guy actually leaves the party so early in the beginning of the afternoon. My sister was so disappointed. She had such high hopes. She was like, oh my gosh, the guy left. I thought this was it. I'm so tired. What's going on? She was blue and down for like a good 5 days. She was mentally, emotionally, psychologically exhausted. We talked a little bit. I tried pointing out the positive aspects about the party, but she was very, 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 very tired. So a week passes, and then she writes me and she's like, oh my gosh, you will not believe what happened. And then she goes on to give me more information on more synchronistic events. She was like, talking to the universe, I'm so tired. Please guide me. Please show me the way. Please tell me if I'm supposed to just give it all up and if this is not meant to be. I'm tired. Please point me in the right direction. I don't know what to do. And by the way, you should always ask for guidance because you are so guided. Your spirit guides are listening at all times. Ask for guidance and pay attention to your video game because you will see the answers. And this is what my sister did. The day she does that, she goes pick up her son in the school, and then she sees the guy. The guy comes up to her, kisses her on the cheek, and calls her by her nickname. Okay? That very same day, but in the evening, again, through a series of synchronistic events, she finds herself picking her son up at my parents' house. And she's driving, and as she's driving very close to my parents' house, she sees the guy pulling into the parking lot of his own apartment building, which is literally like in the same block as my parents' apartment building. And she's like, oh my gosh, I was not even supposed to be here. She was going to do other things, but she changed her mind and she ended up being right there. And she sees that the guy is literally like a neighbor. And it's the universe going, don't give up. This is meant to be. And I know deep down that it's so meant to be. But because it's not my story, I am not in the box. I am outside the box. I am literally like here from outside the box looking at my sister and the situation objectively so I can literally see what is on the label. And what the label says is, you are making progress all day, every day. You are moving forwards. You are getting there. But I'm not the ego who's in here wanting the final destination to be in the present moment right now. And so I don't feel frustrated. I don't feel emotionally tired. So all I see is her making progress. You see? But she's in the box and sometimes she's very tired. And she's like, I don't know why. I think I'm making stuff up here. I'm tripping. This is, I'm creating all of this in my mind, and the ego with all of its shenanigans will do that. And so spiritual faith is about reminding ourselves that there's a reason for us to be here. So when it comes to my sister, what if there are lessons that her soul wants to learn before she's moving on to other scenarios in the video game? What if we asked ourselves, what is the lesson in this? What can I learn from this without resisting it? Even when we're in the box, even when we can't see the label, but we can remember that we are guided, and we can remember that there is a lesson in everything. To give you an example, in my own video game, I started this channel a year ago and I began posting videos. No one was watching because that's YouTube when you begin. And then I began gaining traction, gaining momentum. I had a video go viral. It's so exciting. And the feeling I had was, oh my gosh, I'm taking off. That's so amazing. And then why are we landing right now? What's going on? Then I find myself sitting on the runway. And in the box, it's like, the mind begins asking questions like, why are we sitting on the runway? Weren't we supposed to be in the clouds flying right now? What's going on? And then there's this tendency for us to begin resisting what is. But what if sitting on the runway did not mean not making progress? What if sitting on the runway meant engines being adjusted, better fuel being put into the aircraft? But the mind inside the box is like, I don't like this. I want to be flying right now. You are so guided. You don't have to only see the guidance and the progress when you're looking backwards. You can literally have spiritual faith and know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. And so this video is to remind you that you are progressing no matter what. You are doing amazing. You might not see it right now because you're in the box, and so you can't really see what's on the label. But I can, and what I see is progress. You cannot mess this up. You can create obstacles and make it harder and more lengthy than it needs to be, but you cannot mess it up. And so I'm here to remind you that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Your soul wants to learn from all of the lessons. It wants to expand through all of the contrast. You are all the power in the universe. You are the universe itself walking around in physical form. You are equipped with a localization device, which is the conscious mind, the ego identity. And when we identify with being inside the box and not having any power, then things are just harder and not as enjoyable. So instead of waiting for, time to pass and look backwards and see the value, why not see the value right now? Why not choose to learn from the lessons right now? And so remember this, even when it doesn't seem like you're making progress, you always are. If you want to learn more about the cosmic video game of life and about the story of my sister, you can go ahead now and check out this video. I am sure you're going to love it. I'll see you there.